Okay, so I'm putting together a video here that's going to go through my presentation that I do with pretty much every customer. And the main thing is consistency, which I've been real consistent. And over the years, I've been able to fine-tune it by adding things and taking things away. But this is going to be a real quick presentation on what I do with every customer. And this is assuming I've already done my interview with the customer and I know pretty much what his driving habits are. I know how many years he's going to keep the car, how many miles he drives a year. But the main thing is, you see I have a stack of papers here. This is everything that I do on every deal. I don't pre-print anything. I do have my menu pre-printed when I do the interview with the customer, so I know that exactly how much information I need to give a good presentation, but also to make it quick. And that's the main thing I found out, is to be as quick as I can without stalling too much, because the longer you take with a customer, the tighter they get, and then the less they listen to you. So I've already done the interview, and before I go down there, I print up the little purchase order. And the reason I do this is so I can catch any mistake that there might be. And I also have the temp already pre-printed, and then I bring that down at the same time. And the main thing what I do is, say I'm downstairs and I introduce myself. My name's Mike, we've already met, because I've already gone over the credit app, anything that might be missing, job time, income, rent, who all is going to be on the deal. I want to find out, if there's a trade-in, who's going to be on the trade title, everybody here to sign. So I've got this all printed out, and I sit down and I say, this is basically my cheat sheet as to help me find any mistakes there might be. So what I want you to do is study this form. Don't just look at it, because if there's any little name out of place or a spelling, then they're probably going to make me re-sign the deal. You got to come all the way back in. So check the spelling of the name, the address. Make sure that they know what they're buying. Make sure on the trade-in, that they know they're trading something in. And I go through the numbers. We want to make sure that you're on board with what we're on board for, how much you paid for the car. So starting price, then I go over all the license fees, any down payment, and I got to make sure, is the money going to be here now? Is it, we don't want nothing to pop up like, is it going to be a week from now? Because then you're going to have a problem. Trade in, obviously for payoff. So there's the balance that you guys agreed to, if that's correct. And I'm always highlighting pink and blue, blue and pink, so that they know where their place is to sign. So go ahead and sign right there, and then we'll go upstairs and take care of all the final documents. Okay, so anyway, we do all that, and then I'm sitting down, set them all down. Obviously you want coffee or water or something like that. You get that down there. And then I just start printing up forms. The first one I do is a 226 title app. Print that up. And I don't get into explaining too much. I just say, this is your application for title. We take care of all that for you. You go ahead and sign on your pink and blue to highlight that. You sign that. And then I get into the 6-pack. Okay, and that's the next one. And I do it on every deal the same exact way. And that's the main thing, is to be consistent. So I print that up. And also I don't pre-print anything. I do one at a time. Don't know why, but I've always done it like that. So, I explain, you got your bill of sale, you got your title, power of attorneys for one trade and a new car, and then this one giving us the okay to pay your car off, and then they send us the title back. And you do want the title to say joint owner with right of survivorship. Okay, do that, and then you got the next one is the odometer on the new car they're buying. Print that up, highlight. I always sign it first, that way I don't miss anything. Signatures, so then he signs it. And only one person has to sign this, the one they're being sold to. And then the next one is, if they have a trade-in, is the blue odometer. And once again, only the first person or one person has to sign off on this, not two. And the next one's real important, pink odometer or secure power of attorney. And you got to have one of these if there's a payoff. You also have to have one if the title's not here. So the reason we do that is so we can get a lost title app if we need one. Okay. This is about as fast as I go. The next one's going to be your trade disclosure, and then the reason for that is you want to make sure if there's any damage to the car is disclosed. He signs that, and that's pretty much how I explain it. The next one, notice of purchase. We don't let the customer sign this; he doesn't have to. The next one's going to be your, printing. It's going to be your agreement to provide insurance. So I just tell the customer, look, this one, so that to let you know you got to have full coverage insurance on the car. Go and sign right there. And once again, I am highlighting before they get it in front of them. And then, so the next one is the etch presentation. And this is key. It has to springboard off of your insurance form because they tie together. And then what I say simply is I highlight it first, again, and then I say, I'm not quite sure if the sales went over this with you or not, but these numbers, you're going to find those numbers in every one of the door jambs, and it looks like that in that sticker. So you want to make sure you let your insurance company know about it, because it is a tracking device, and it helps recover the car if it's stolen. So what your job is in about 2 weeks is to peel that sticker off, because if someone steals a car, you don't want them to know where those numbers were, because the glue leaves behind the number embedded in the paint. So technology these days, if someone steals a car and sell the body panels to a junkyard, they run everything through a black light to see if it's stolen property. So this company works with your insurance company, and they hold the number for 5 years. So they pay a benefit of $5 grand. So you got to make sure you let the insurance company know about it, because it is a tracking device. And there is a registration fee, okay, right there. We do include that in the payment, but sometimes you get that back from the insurance company. You have to ask them if they give a discount. I can't guarantee if they will, but go ahead and sign right there to activate those codes. And it's real simple, just like that. I don't put a lot of time into it. If the guy says no, I don't push it, because I don't want him to get, you know, antsy or like I'm trying to sell him something. And then the next one's going to be my rebate form. There's 2 places to sign on that. The first one is for the rebate. He got that back coming to him. Next one is that he got OnStar for free, 6 months. Okay, and the next one is going to be, actually I got that. This is your the as-is form. Now on a new one he gets the small one. On a used car he gets the large one. And there's a reason why, and I'll go over that later. But I explained this, and this is letting you know that the car you're buying is, the warranty's through the factory, it's not through us. So we'll gladly work on the car, but there's not going to be us being responsible for paying for the car. So this one's real important, and I created this form. It kind of helps to springboard off the factory warranty into your service contract. And this really does help quite a bit with knocking the factory warranty in the dirt. And you do want to do that because, you know, the guy obviously thinks he's got a good warranty, the new car is going to cover everything, but it's really not. So how I explain it to him, I go, okay, so I'm going to go over your factory warranty with you so you know exactly what's covered. And it comes in 3 different tiers. So the first part, this is called the honeymoon period. They're going to pay for everything on the car, even squeaks, rattles, and adjustments. Okay, that's going to be for the first year or 12,000 miles. So depending on how you drive, it's whichever comes first. So in this particular case, this guy's going to drive 20,000 miles a year. Okay, so, and I know that because I went over the interview with him, and I know that that's what he's going to drive. And I built my menu for that too. So the next part of your warranty is going to be the next 2 years, or up to 36,000 miles, and they're going to cover factory defects only. So no wear and tear coverage is going to be covered on that. And I asked him, do you know the difference between factory defect and wear and tear? And he goes, well, no. And say, okay, well, a defect is something that they built it wrong, and they know it, and they're going to fix it for free. Wear and tear is something that you broke on the car, and they're not going to cover that. So I draw a line right here, wherever he drives. Let's see, 2 years, he's at 20,000 a year, he'll have 40,000 miles on the car. I use this form as a visual to show him how little warranty he really has. So 2 years, you got 40,000 miles. You're going to only get 36,000, so you're going to expire your factory coverage, which I mean the good coverage of the computer, at around a year and a half. It's not very good coverage. It's good coverage, but it's not very long. And then, so the next part is the 5 years, 100,000 miles of just powertrain. And all they're going to cover is basically 3 parts: the motor, the transmission, and drive components. Okay. So all computer, electrical is going to shift to you. It's probably going to cost a lot of money. Not probably, you know, it is going to. So, you know, most people realize the car is not going to break during this first part. It's going to break out here. So they do cover the car, and then what they cover with is an extension of the GM factory warranty. And I have a brochure that I show them. And I just go over what's covered. So they're going to cover everything on the car, basically. Okay. They're going to cover a few non-items like oil changes, you know, spark plugs, body panels, paint, things like that. but every other part's covered. And then also, to addition to that, they're going to cover the roadside assistance, which is basically AAA. Okay, so if you lock your keys in the car, you run out of gas, you got a flat tire, they cover all that too. Okay, so that's all I do on the warranty. I don't really try to sell the warranty at that point. All I do is just go over it, and then I already have my menu. I don't even bring the menu out yet, but what I tell the guy is I say, so we're going to go over a couple of options for you, and it's important that we do this now because you're buying the car, it's brand new, we're making the loan, the payments are going to get set up, and a lot of people like to add things to their car, but they don't want to write a check for it. So this comes in real handy because we put it in the loan, and it's just a few dollars a month for some of the things that you might want. So let's go over the first thing. First item is Crystal Fusion. Now this is an item that's very important in Oregon because we've got tons of rain, but what it does, for 5 years, I guarantee it's a one-time application. It seals your glass, fills in all the pores, nothing sticks to it. The main thing is this nighttime driving, you won't have any of this glare. This side's sealed, that side's not. BB gun, big old rock chip right here. Same BB gun, doesn't chip. So it's going to strengthen your glass. This guy doesn't even use his wiper blades, you don't need to. Actually, I've got it on my car. I don't use my wiper blades. And nighttime driving, cuts all that glare, okay? And I don't spend a lot of time on this either because it doesn't make me a lot of money, but it's kind of a neat thing. Some people like it, especially the guy that can't see at night. Then I just flip right over to the next. I have the stuff already open. The next thing that people like to have, we don't have a lot of sunshine, so this isn't a big deal about keeping your car cool, but a lot of people in Oregon, they like to window tint their car because it looks good. So this is not a big thing that I sell hard on either. I just run it by them real quick. It's a small profit, but it's cheap, and it's a couple bucks a month. The guy might like it. Okay, the next thing is I got to talk about your paint. See, the factory warranty is not going to cover your paint. They will if it comes off in sheets because if it's a defect, but things like bird droppings, water spots, stuff like that's not going to cover it. So you got to know that you're going to have emission problems, air, factories, sulfur, exhaust goes up in the sky, gets in the clouds, comes down in the form of rain, and what happens is it sticks to your paint, and then you have acid rain. What it does is actually etches your paint, and you can't get it off. You have to buff the car. So the only way to do that is to buff it. You're taking off paint, you're putting swirl marks in your car, you got to pay someone probably 150 bucks to do it. So these guys are beautiful, they're birds, but what they do is they poop on your car, right? And I get people to chuckle about this. I mean, this is kind of a fun thing. You get them involved, it's proactive. But if you can't see the car, it's just plastered and bird shit. Okay? But, so when I tell them what we do, and this slideshow shows, we professionally seal the car with a polypropylene sealant. And then for 5 years, I guarantee you won't have any damage from bird droppings, tree sap, hard water spots, bee pollen. All that stuff damages your paint. And the main thing is people like about it is you don't have to wax your car, okay, for 5 years. And keeps your car looking brand new. It beads up, no worries. These guys are crazy kids, huh? You probably got some, maybe you got some grandkids, but they like to ride on stuff, and they like Happy Meals, so what happens? They spill all over your seat and stains your seats. So what we do is we seal all the leather, okay? So kind of like Scotch Guard, but Scotch Guard comes off on your pants. This goes into the fibers, it stays in the fibers, it never comes out. And then we do the whole cloth, we do the carpets, everything for 5 years. If you get a stain, they guarantee they're going to replace or fix it. So this is rock chips on your car. Nobody likes that. So back in the day, we used to put the bra on the front. That's not any good because the dirt got in there and it used to just like sandpaper ruin your paint job. So now a new technology is called clear film. Just a plastic sheet goes on the front of the car. It's made by 3M. As you can see, it's very easy to put on. But what they do is they have it all computer cut to fit each car perfectly, so there's no wrinkles or anything, and you can't even really see it. Put it on with a squeegee, get all the bubbles out. But every bit of the red you see here has the film on it, so you're never going to get a rock chip. And that's going to be good for resale value down the road. And if you keep your car a long time, you're not going to be looking at a car with rock chips all over it. So this guy hit a post. All you had to do was just go in and get that one piece removed for $100 bucks. It cost him. He didn't have to go to a body shop, didn't have to pay a deductible, nothing like that. One thing too is you don't have a down payment and you're driving a lot of miles, so you're gonna you depreciate the car a lot faster. So this scenario shows what you paid for the car, and it's a brand new car, so you're gonna roll out of here and lose probably 5 grand on the car. But your loan's gonna stay up here, so if something piles into you and totals your car, the bank wants to get paid off. Well, the insurance company doesn't care what you owe. They're gonna pay you this, so you're gonna have a gap. Okay, so gap insurance covers that deficiency. I've seen people with upwards of $10,000 in deficiency, and if they didn't have gap insurance, they'd have to write a check or put it on a credit card and take them 20 years to get it paid off. Nobody wants to pay for something they don't own anymore. And if it's a pickup, I show them the Line-X and let them know the benefits of that. Let them see the little picture, goes from that to that. And then once again, I'm back at the clear film. So in a nutshell, that's all the stuff we have. Let me show you how it works together on your payment. Now I bring up my menu. And I have this thing set up to where on one side I have just the warranty alone. On the other side I've got everything that we talked about. And I focus on those two, okay? So I don't even go to the little one. I go straight to the top and I go, so here's what it looks like, okay? These are your payment options, okay, based upon your credit, your interest rate you got. So this one here has everything we talked about. The window tinting, the clear shield, the crystal fusion, which is the windshield treatment, the sealants on the inside, the outside, the paint, the fabric, leather. It's got the gap insurance, and it's got your warranty on that. So everything combined, your payment is only $550 a month, okay? So looking at the minimum with just a warranty alone, which is a 0 deductible, and will take you to 100,000 miles, it's gonna cover all the computers and nothing out of pocket for you, is $492. The difference between that payment and that payment is not that much, so you get everything. How do you feel about that? And just throw it out there and let them kind of look at it a little bit. They're going to either say, they're going to hem-haw a little bit, they're not going to jump right at the top one right away. Sometimes they do, they're lay down. But a lot of times what they're going to do is they go, well, I don't know. So how to get out of this real quick is go, okay, let's get rid of product. Let's get rid of stuff you don't want. Okay, so what I start doing is I go, okay, forget about price, forget about what it costs. Let's just talk about, the value in your mind. So the window tint, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is that product to you to have on the car? Sometimes they won't answer you. You have to kind of budge them. Is it a 5? Is it a 6? And you're going to write it down. So if they go, it's a 0, just say that I'm going to write, okay, 0. I'm going to go on to the next. Because if it's a 0, I'm not closing. I'm not going to sell. Clear film, okay. Guy drives a lot of highway miles. He jumped right out. Okay, I like that. That's an 8. Okay, so I'm going to write 8. Okay, and the crystal fusion. This is the windshield. Okay, he said, okay, it's 1 to 10. That's a 5. Okay, I'm write 5. And then the paint sealant and the leather and stuff, he's going to go, nah, that's a 0. Okay, and the gap insurance, let's say he goes, no, I don't want gap insurance. Okay, I might write a little 0. Okay, but I'm going to reiterate and let him know that, look, you're driving a lot of miles, you don't have a down payment. So I personally feel that's something that you should think about, and it's only about $5 a month. So with what I just said, knowing that you're going to have a huge deficiency, does that change your mind any of the value? If he still says no, I'm not going to push it. He might say 5. If it's a 5, I'll write 5. Okay? So the service contract, I'm going to push him to the service contract because that's going to be the bread and butter. And I'm going to tell him before he even has a chance to say anything, I'll say most people do this one, okay, because they cover all the computers. And I'm not sure if you know this or not, but the cars are so much more advanced. Like the car you're trading in, like the cruise control, that was on the blinker arm. So that was an easy fix back in the day. Nowadays, cruise control is on the steering wheel. If that breaks, you have to replace the whole steering wheel sometimes because it's a component. Then you have to pull the airbags out. I'm talking about major, labor rates and costs, and it's expensive. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is the warranty to you? I'm nodding my head doing this close. So if he says 0, I'm not going to push it hard. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, okay, so with what you're telling me, this is important to you. That's an 8, that's a 5, and that's a 5. So let's see what that does to your payment. And I'm going to go right to my menu. and I'm going to click, I'm going to go clear film, boom. I'm going to go gap insurance, and I'm going to go crystal fusion, okay? And I'm going to calculate it because it's all loaded. And I'm going to say, okay, so with the items that are important to you, you're looking at $483 a month for 60 months. Does that work for you? I mean, he already told you this stuff's important to you. You got rid of the crap that he doesn't want, okay? So if he says, okay, I like that. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to say, then I'm going to come back one more time on the warranty because I feel that everybody needs a warranty. So I'm going to go, well, let me just go over one more thing with you, okay? I'm going to do the time and money close at this point. I'll say, okay, so I'm going to bounce back to the warranty because I know it's important that people have coverage, and you're going to expire the warranty in a little over a year, and that's not a lot of coverage for you. So let me touch base one more time on this. And a guy showed this to me. It made sense after he showed it to me how much value a warranty really is. So I'm going to do the time and money, and I'm going to say, okay, so you make 25 bucks an hour, right? He goes, yeah. And I go, okay, so after about a year and a half, if you lose an air conditioner, that could cost about $2,000, right? Well, sure. So, and I write $2,000 here, and I do like a division thing, and I say, okay, so, and I got my calculator out. I say, okay, so if you had to pay for that repair based upon what you make per hour, you got to work 80 hours or 2 weeks to cover that repair. Okay, and I'm going to find out here what the difference in payment is. So I would probably already know it in my head. So 483, 526. So the guy's warranty that I'm trying to sell him is 43 bucks a month. Okay, more than what he said he wanted to do. So I'm going to say, okay, so would it make more sense for you to pay, work about an hour and a half versus 80 hours to pay for that same repair? You know, and sometimes they'll look at it, they'll be eyes glazed over, they won't know what you're talking about, because this is kind of a complicated close. But if you get it down, what you're trying to do is show them, okay, per month the warranty is going to cost me $43 a month. I make $25 an hour. That means I got to work an hour and a half every month to pay for that repair versus 80 hours of work, 2 weeks. Most people are going to see it at that point. If you don't get him on that close, you probably won't get the guy. So it's okay, just move on. You got 3 products. You already got your X pre-sold. Okay, that's off the menu, and you're making some money. So say, okay, go ahead. We're going to put it up like that, set it up like that. And you can sign it. And the next item that I do is the WEO, because I want to lock this in. I want to make sure that if we sold clear film or sealants that we get an appointment set. The faster the better, because it's non-cancelable once it's on the car. So I set the appointment. Obviously I got to call clear film, but I'm going to set the appointment with the guy right now. If I have problems, I got to get the guy back in on a different date. So I write it in there, he signs it. And don't forget to get your products printed. If you sold Crystal Fusion, do the contract, signs it. If you sold a service contract, get it signed, print it. The next thing is the contract, okay? Print it. And you go over the numbers, real simple. Don't spend a whole lot of time on the numbers, just the box, okay? You agree to this payment, this date due, this is your annual rate, how much money you're going to pay per month, finance charge. I just go over it real quick. Spend a lot of time on it, because you already went over the numbers on the menu. You don't want to get back into all the money. So you want to move along pretty fast at this point, because you don't want them to really start thinking about it, okay? Because they already made their decision. And then purchase order, say this is the purchase order, same as the contract, this is the bank's agreement, this is our agreement. Go ahead and sign here, 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 and here. And make sure that he signs if there's a payoff, that he realizes if there's an estimate, he's going to have to pay the difference. Okay? In a nutshell, that's pretty much my presentation, and it goes that fast, usually about 30 minutes. And consistency is the main thing. If you do it the same way every single time, you won't miss anything, and you'll get a lot more penetration, because everything is the same every single time, and you get better at it. If you change things around, you know, you do it different this way, this time, different that time, you're lost. It's like a steps to the sale. Even finance has a steps to the sale, and it works. Okay, cool.